everyone. My name is Nimade Belu. I am a volunteer with I Am My Sister's Keeper, and this is another episode of Moments with I Am My Sister's Keeper. I'm so excited. With me today, I have Lisa Savage. She is the CEO and founder of the Center for Child Development Delaware and Clinicians of Color, and she is going to be a speaker at this year's Tea Party. Hi, Lisa. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, thank you for having me. It is my pleasure, and I can't wait to speak in October. I'm looking forward to it.
We can't wait to hear you. Before we talk a little bit about how you got involved with us, can you tell everybody a little bit more about you?
I am a clinical social worker, and I own a private practice that's located in Newark, Delaware. It's called the Center for Child Development. I am very, very proud to say that it is one of the largest Black-owned private practices in the country.
Oh,
Um,
congratulations.
we center the needs of Black and Brown children, but we serve children and adolescents from the top of the state all the way down to the beaches. Most of what we do is school-based, but we do see people in our offices as well. The other part of what I do is co-founded an organization called Clinicians of Color. And this organization was founded several years ago out of an abundance of need to support BIPOC mental health providers. So in that time, we also created a directory to help BIPOC communities connect easily with mental health professionals that represented their race, their ethnicity, their culture, and their language. So cliniciansofcolor.org is the directory address, and it was founded again so that it would be easier for people to connect with a mental health provider. And as we know, the need for mental health services is increasing, and more people that look like you and me are accessing services.
Which is definitely a good thing. I'm so glad to hear that your practice is doing well. Mental health is an area that is very near and dear to my heart. I have a fellowship with NAMI Delaware. So I do a
Awesome.
lot in the mental health field. So I'm sure we'll connect again, but I love all
Yeah,
that you're doing. And, the more people that are involved in getting the word out to help our community, the better, because it's important.
I agree. Yeah.
So how did you get involved with I Am My Sister's Keeper?
So many years ago, I met Melody, and she was telling me about I Am My Sister's Keeper. And because I have a passion for working with our youth, it kind of caught my ear. And so and it was at the beginning when things first started with I Am My Sister's Keeper. And it just was intriguing. And so over the years, I've watched this grow to an impressive organization.
Right.
And so I started making financial donations because um, not having a whole lot of time to be hands on. Plus, I work in Delaware, but I live in Baltimore. So I
Okay.
figured the least I could do was to help support this organization because the things that Charlotte has been able to do have been so impressive to me. The way that she's grown it across states, um, it requires a lot of time, energy, and commitment and money. So I thought, you know what, let me support them by at least making donations. And so she knows she can always count on me if there's a need because I believe in the mission. I also believe it's so important that our girls have mentors that look like them, that are accessible, that can teach them, and also be role models for them. So that was my impetus in becoming involved with I Am My Sister's Keeper.
I love that. Something I think that I know I tried to live by is being, who I was who I needed when I was younger. Because there are so many things that you wish were about and available to help you. So I love you giving back to an organization that does just that. That's my favorite thing about I Am My Sister's Keeper is truly how they meet the needs of the girls, and how they open their eyes to seeing so many different possibilities, right? It's not just an organization where it's just like, oh, just come to this one spot and we'll get
Yeah.
together, which is wonderful.
Hmm.
but she really makes a point of taking them out into the community, letting them explore different professions, hear from different people, to really let them know that there's a whole wide world out there.
Absolutely. I think sometimes um, in Black communities, as Black folks become more and more successful, we tend to move out of Black communities. And
Hmm.
so that leaves a gap in having people who are successful, accessible, who can mentor, who could be supportive to the children who are in these communities. So, um, I'm hoping that more and more of us, Black people, will, even if they've moved out of our communities, will see the importance of giving back in some way, because that's what's going to be the savior for our children to come. Like I said, I live in Baltimore. Baltimore has a lot of issues with youth. And the one thing that I do is I am very intentional about connecting with Black youth, particularly Black boys. So I do that in a variety of ways, but it's very intentional because my presence, my support, my love is something that I feel I can easily share with them and that they can easily receive. Even the most hardened children who've been through so much trauma are often responsive to a caring adult. And that's really what helps to heal trauma,
Hmm.
is having a caring adult. And so that's how I show up in the lives of children, and particularly Black children.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I think it's so hard sometimes when we see kids, well, overall, as a country, we are sort of raised to see Black boys as being harsher at a young age and being more manly than they are. And so even when they're kids, when they're making mistakes and having problems, we put such like a heavy hand on them and like, oh, how could they do this horrible thing, without addressing, as you said, that it's the trauma of their youth that is really what's acting out. In the same way with girls, girls got so much put on them about being, you know, too fast or too much
Mhm,
attitude or too all of
mhm,
this. And they're
mhm.
just children. At the end of the
Yes,
day, they're just children, and it's what
yes.
the world around them is giving them. So instead of judging them, I think we need more
Mhm.
people like Miss Charlotte, like you, who are like, how can we help bring the love back and give them the positive? Because people, I think, naturally lean into the positive if you give it to them. And more importantly, if they know they can trust you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so key. So people will often say to me, how do you get along so well with kids and teenagers? Well, I am genuine. I am accepting. I'm not judgmental. Because I think sometimes adults, we can kind of fall back into that pretty easily and quickly.
Hmm.
And kids recognize realness and genuineness. And so if you show up and you're real and you're genuine, you begin to build that trust. The walls start to come down and you open up possibilities for that child's life.
Hmm. Absolutely. And the great thing, when we talk about the trust, it's usually a wall that you're trying to break down. And that's why there's the importance of showing up again and again and being there for them. And that's the great thing about, Miss Charlotte's program and I Am My Sister's Keeper, is that it gives the kids a place to come back to and people that they know will still be there for them. So then they feel comfortable letting down that wall. Because sometimes they don't want to let it down because they're afraid that
Yeah,
that person will be gone, depending on what they've been through in their
so
life.
true. That's so
And
true.
also, we've all heard the phrase idle hands. So it definitely helps with that in that
That's right.
capacity, with their idle hands, giving them activities and different things to do, like the Confidence Club and the STEMS Club.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And believing in kids, because if we believe in a kid, that instills belief in themselves. So we are a reflection of how they see themselves. So if we reject them, if we're not accepting of them, if we're critical of them, they're going to internalize that. And that's what they're going to believe about themselves. So as adults, we have a responsibility, and it's a very serious responsibility to model in our kids what we want to see in them. So giving them encouragement, obviously setting boundaries, and having expectations for them, because that they'll internalize as positive. And that's the kid that will begin to see grow and mature and flourish. So as adults who work with children, those are some important responsibilities that we have that stem beyond what I've learned in school about being a therapist. Like these things I'm not learning, we didn't learn in school, but these are just things that, in my experience, matter the most when you're working with children.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed speaking with you. I am looking forward to hearing you talk more on the first at the tea party. Is this a little bit about what your topic will be on?
Yes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be speaking directly to the girls. So it really is going to be a message of empowerment directly to them. So
Mm.
yes, exactly. And I'm excited, can't wait for it. And again, I just have such admiration for this organization and I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for your time now and also for your time at the tea party. For those of you that have enjoyed this conversation, as she mentioned, she'll be speaking at the tea party, which is going to be October 1st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Hercules Building in downtown Wilmington. I will include the link. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite, and we hope to see you there. I hope everyone has a great day.